Hi, I'm Mario, and this is my 2020 Chevy Colorado WT. I want to take this opportunity to provide an overview of the truck. Now, obviously it's not a Bison or it's not a ZR2, but it does have four-wheel drive and it has some features that I might prefer over those other models. Now, I did remove the decals that say 4x4, but I do want to point out some of the ratings that are associated with the cargo capacity and towing capacity. So it has a V6 gasoline engine. The front axle is rated at 3,200 pounds. The tires that come stock are over that amount. The rear axle is 3,500 pounds. The towing capacity is 7,000 pounds. The tongue hitch weight is rated at 770 pounds. Now the hitch itself is actually rated at 900 pounds, but the recommended tongue weight maximum is 770 pounds. This California truck came with these Goodyear Wrangler Fortitude HT tires, 16-inch steel wheel. We got 265/70/16. These are LT light truck tires. The rating at 51 PSI for this tire is 2,469 pounds, so well above what you need for this 3,500 pound axle, 3,200 pound rating on the front axle of this pickup truck here. Coming around the back, we do have the 2-inch receiver, 7-way pin, 4-pin option, and this is your access to lower your spare tire. Does come with the rear camera, locking tailgate. Oh yeah, and by the way, on the rear camera, it does have the option to line up the trailer hitch, so that's pretty cool. Tailgate comes down as you would expect. Another interesting thing with this truck is it has a rear seat delete. So obviously you can see it has the extended cab, but there are not any seats in the rear of this vehicle. And so this is a two-person vehicle, so one passenger and the driver. That's what this is rated for. And that allows for about 1,546 pounds of cargo capacity. So you could have yourself, a passenger, and another 1,000 pounds of cargo capacity, theoretically. One option that I did get with this, and you can have this as a dealer option as well as ordering it from the factory that way, but it's a remote start. And so you hit the lock and you hit the start button and it starts up. And it'll run like this for 15 minutes, but you can tack on an additional 15 minutes by going through the start process in additional time by hitting the lock button and hitting the start. And that's nice because when you get out of your truck, when you turn your truck off, you could leave the AC on that setting that you desire, or leave the heater on the setting you desire. And that way you can come out to a climate controlled vehicle. Very nice. Welcome to the interior of the truck, and also welcome to the future. It's been a few weeks and some things were brought to light that I wanted to share with you. So I edited the interior portion of this video for you guys. And specifically what I wanted to mention were some of the features that are available in the center console area. So in the higher trim levels, there are additional features that this truck doesn't have. And some people, I noticed online on some of the forums that some people were interested in maybe extending the USB ports that are up at the front of the center console. And so I just wanted to point out some of those things because I did remove some of these interior panels. So as an example, up here in the front, my truck has 2 USB ports and a 3.5 audio input, and these connect directly to the to the truck's stereo system. And so you have features with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and then over here on the other side is a cigar lighter, and so you can have a 12-volt DC supply here. And so the issue is that this isn't necessarily an awesome area to access and you might want to extend back into the center console area. However, on my truck, try to get a shot of that. So here is a delete for a function. I'm not even sure what that is exactly, but what I wanted to get at is that you can remove this panel here. I have a feeling I'm going to be ordering another part. And then you can start accessing different pinout options here. And then also you can access a couple bolts here and then remove this entire panel. And behind the USB, this is actually a USB hub. And so there are there's a USB mini plug there, so that can be disconnected, and then you can run a cable out through the rest of the console. This little blank here, if you don't have this option in your truck, you can remove the tab by coming from the interior, the inside areas from this side, and pushing towards the passenger side up and out, and then that will pop out. Additionally, this whole center piece comes out. So there is this trim piece pops up, and once that is off, then this entire portion pops out, and then you can have access to run cables. Additionally, this side panel comes off here. So I don't want to get too much into that. I have another video. Let me get this camera set up here. So I have another video that covers me removing the console parts, but I just wanted to mention that it is possible to add features and relocate features if you have a truck that doesn't have the upper trim levels. So with what this truck did come with, I do want to go over some of those features. So you just have your standard AC and temperature control. There's no dual climate or anything like that. It does have four-wheel drive, and the controls are here, which are not super convenient. It does have the trailering hitch because this does have the G80 trailering package, so that includes the locking rear differential. Now, one thing you do want to know about the G80 package is that the locking rear diff is not where you have the electric lock here in the other trim levels. Rather, what you have is a centrifugal rear locker. So essentially, you have to be in dire situations, and then mechanically the rear axle will do a diff lock. So what I have here on my organ keys are, I got my four-way flashers. I can turn traction control on and off, turn on and off the cargo light. So this switch here is for trailering, and so that is something that is pretty common in vehicles where if you flip the switch, you get a remapping of your transmission. So the trailering mode is worth a mention, and I like it. It is effective in this truck. Some people were complaining about the transmission, the 8-speed automatic transmission in this truck, and then so I think they changed it in 2018, and then there was a recall for the earlier models. Essentially, I don't really have any problems with it, with the transmission shifting, and I really like the mapping that's available. You know, flip of a switch, and then I can change the upshifting stall speeds, and I can set the speed that I want to decline on a hill. This isn't like rock climbing mode, but like say I want to go 40 miles an hour down a steep grade, I can adjust the speed with my foot brake, and then the transmission mapping will try to downshift and then use the engine compression, not like a diesel Jake brake or a diesel compression. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about an engine brake, but the mapping will do downshifts and keep the RPMs high so that the normal gasoline engine compression is allowing to brake. So at any rate, love it. Use it all the time. I'm glad it's there. I don't think I would want to do a tune and then remap that. Anyway, that's the mention. And then so the other thing that I wanted to mention is the shifter, and it does have I don't know, it's something that's called L, which I guess means low, but you can shift into low at any speed, and it'll likely downshift one, but ultimately what it's doing is it's allowing you to then use the plus minus function here. See if I can get a shot of it. So yeah, you have a plus and a minus button on the side, the little electric switch here. And so when you're in the low mode, then you have control over downshifts, and not so much upshifting, but you can use the minus or the plus to select the highest gear you would want to be in. So for instance, you're on the highway and you don't want the truck shifting into 7th or 8th gear, you can there'll be an indicator on your dash which gear that you have selected, and then the truck will not shift above that gear. So yes, the interior is rather plain, a lot of hard plastic, and but the AC works, the heater works, the defrost works good. I got speakers up front. I don't have a speaker here in the center. That would be like the Bose upgrade. The center console is pretty much, I don't know, it's just a huge space, and you can easily get things lost in there. My truck came with the vinyl flooring, and I really like the vinyl floor versus like the carpeting and stuff. Super easy to clean up. This model doesn't have any rear window slider, which has its bonuses, pros and cons on the rear slider. So, as far as like driving with the windows down, it can kind of get that funny pressurized feeling when you don't have a way to vent out the air out the back. So, but it's not necessarily going to leak water into the interior either. So this truck not having a lot of options from the dealer, I have inclinations to make modifications. So thanks for watching, and if you want to see some of the other ideas that I've come up with to modify the truck to suit my needs, I would encourage you to check out my channel. So once again, thanks for watching, and stay safe.